Ever wondered how top performing retailers stay ahead of market trends and meet a customer needs so effectively? The secret is their expertise in supply chain management, especially through advanced retail demand forecasting tools. Now, these retailers go beyond traditional methods using cutting edge technology and data analysis to predict consumer demand with impressive accuracy. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Analytics Insight podcast, where we talk about the ever evolving tech space. And I'm your host, Priya Deyalami. Now, accurate retail demand forecasting is crucial for retailers to ensure that they meet customer needs without overstocking or understocking, both of which can have a significant financial implications. Now, why is this so important? Imagine if your favorite store ran out of your favorite snack just when you wanted it, or if they had too much of something and it ended up going bad. Retail demand forecasting helps stores avoid these problems and keep the shelves filled with the right products. Now let's find out how it works at Magic with Aswin Kumar, Senior Director of Enterprise Architecture at Lowe's India. Hi Ashwin, how are you doing?
Hello, Priya. I'm doing good. Thank you for this
Great.
opportunity.
Great. Likewise, it's a pleasure to have you with us on a podcast, Ashwin. And of course, we are going to dive deeper into the demand forecasting tools and its implication, and what exactly is the technology about. But before that, I would want to know more about Lowe's India. If you could help us understand about the organization, its specialization, or particular specific solutions the company is offering.
Oh, absolutely. I think, as I mentioned, it's great to have this conversation and really looking forward to this discussion. So, a little bit about Lowe's and Lowe's India. Lowe's is a Fortune 50 home improvement retailer based in the United States. We are a omni-channel retailer with over 1,700 stores, and we serve more than 16 million customers transactions every week. Right. And about Lowe's India, it's a global capability center based out of Bangalore. We have more than 4,200 associates and growing. We spearhead technology development, including engineering, analytics, AI/ML innovations, and even business services like marketing and merchandising. This year, actually, we are also celebrating 10 years of Lowe's in India. So it's a very interesting and exciting time for us.
Great. I think thank you for that overview. And it's really fascinating to hear about the organization's unique position in the overall industry. And it sounds very much that the entire organization is driving innovation in some really impactful ways. Um, of course, having said that, we would also like to know more about you, Ashwin. If you can tell us how has your journey been till date? What if you could tell us or expand or highlight more on your role? What exactly is enterprise architecture department that you're looking after? And of course, what drew your focus to the Global Capability Center?
No, absolutely. Absolutely. I think you have two questions there. So let me start with a little bit about myself and the team, right? So
Sure.
I serve as a senior director for enterprise architecture with a focus on supply chain. So our team plays a very crucial role in being responsible, record, and classify the cluster of IT or information technology assets, thereby aligning them to our technology strategy with business objectives, right? And we partner and advise our stakeholders across all levels, whether it's executives or technology leadership or even business. And we provide strategic architectural vision for all of Lowe's home improvement. But at the same time, we got to keep in mind, right, the speed to market of the solutions we build internally, because they are the ones which provide enriching experience to our customers and associates. So that's one part of what we do in enterprise architecture. Now, focusing more on supply chain, we are also responsible for demand forecasting. So you did a great introduction there, and also the purchase order management systems. And this particular set of solutions and capabilities are primarily led and driven by our team from Lowe's India. So this is a fantastic diverse mix of opportunities and use cases, something which kind of inspires me every day working at Lowe's. And why Lowe's India here? It's primarily because of the pace and scale at which Lowe's is transforming today with like awesome support from our leadership and what we call a technology led innovation, what we drive from Lowe's India. Now, coming to a second question, what drew me to focus on the global capability center space? I think overall it's a fantastic time to be part of the GCC space. It's a space in India which is growing at a very, very fast and steady pace. In fact, I think I remember NASCOM already estimated that India will have more than 1,500 GCCs. And I don't think it's about anymore doing back end work or infrastructure or support kind of work, right? It's more leadership and functional ownership, and also a lot of companies are building capabilities in house. And today, when we're talking about all this cutting edge technologies, innovations, and we're actually doing all those things across many of the core retail functions, right? And we're kind of building platforms, products. GCs are actually incubating ideas which are impacting a lot of revenues, building solutions on how the customers shop and how we serve our customers, right? So, building more on that, I think if I remember right, 90% of our GCCs operate as kind of multifunctional centers, and not just support, but also develop technologies, aid operations, and do a lot of work around product engineering. So, this, according to me, is a awesome mix of interesting use cases and challenges which can be solved from India, right? And especially with Lowe's being a Fortune 50 company, and it adds a lot of value further.
Well, definitely. And thank you for sharing that insight into your role. And it's really fascinating to hear what drew you to the Global Capability Center and how you're contributing to the overall mission of the company, of the organization. And I think your passion for product engineering and different aspects really, really shines through. Now, moving ahead, I think in the introduction, I spoke about the demand forecasting tool, and I think in the retail industry, it's pretty crucial. Now, too much inventory ties up capital and leads to waste, while too little means missed sales and disappointed customers as well. Traditionally, I think the forecasting methods that were used were effective, but I think to some extent because the store managers would often struggle to keep up with the complex and dynamic nature of the modern retail. I think Lowe's has one of its tool called as Lift, if I'm not wrong. It's developed by Lowe's India, and it's kind of a game changer because it uses machine learning algorithms to ensure like very precise and relevant demand forecasting. So, can you tell us more about this tool and how the company is using this tool or technology to redefine the home improvement retail industry?
No, absolutely. That's a fantastic question. And yes, so Lift is a Lowe's internal forecasting tool, kind of inbuilt in-house from Lowe's. So I think that's one of the technologies we're building, and I'm very closely and passionately involved. Right. So before we go into the Lift, you kind of explained the problem statement on a higher level. So let me kind of give more context from a Lowe's perspective. So in my opinion, retail is generally complex, right? And home improvement, where Lowe's actually focuses on, is even more. So Lowe's is in a unique position where we do not just sell any products, but also projects and experience. And it caters to a wide variety of customer segments. So our assortments, our items are pretty large and diverse. So you can think about home decor, appliances, flooring, plumbing, garden, even lumber, right? And think about keeping them all in large stores to a size of a football field. And taking this further, our sales caters to a different set of customers, which is do it yourself, the DIY customers, or the pro customers who perform a range of construction, maintenance projects, etc. Right. So we need to make sure in the demand forecasting space that all our stores are stocked with the right goods at the right time and over multiple seasons. And seasonality plays a very huge part in our business as well. And it does not just end there. We have a lot of distribution centers which kind of continues to replenish our stores with all the inventory to make sure the customers are seeing those inventory and able to shop and buy, right? So in taking that segue, forecasting is a big deal at Lowe's, where we kind of have to predict and answer simple questions, right? How much are we going to sell today at a particular store? How much inventory is flowing through a network of warehouses? And demand forecasting is one of the places where our forecasting platform, Lift, is used very prominently. So we need to predict demands for various items for every store for the right time horizon. Some of them can be weekly, some of them can be monthly, and keeps changing, and it's very dynamic. So the more accurate we predict our demand or create our forecast, it helps to replenish our stores and also order the right goods or items from our vendors more efficiently. So now, just for scale, right? Simple maths, we have to attempt to do it for 1700 plus stores because Lowe's has so much stores, and for tens of thousands of items. Add in the complexity of the various distribution centers and warehouses we have. That actually kinds of runs into multiple millions of forecasts or predictions, which is kind of generated continuously, right? So this is a very, very interesting problem which we are kind of solving for Lowe's through our forecasting platform.
Great. I think, first of all, thank you for giving that overview. And it's really fascinating to see how Lowe's is harnessing technology platform or tool like Lyft to not only enhance the operational efficiency, but also improve the customer experience. And the focus on precise demand forecasting is particularly intriguing because, especially in an industry where understanding customer needs can make or break a business, I think that's really important. Um, so you mentioned about, by accurate demand forecast, and I think Lyft helps ensure that the right products are in the right place and at the right time. So I think this can definitely lead to more significant improvements in inventory management, of reducing both overstock and stockouts. But when we're talking about a product or a tool like Lyft, I think there are a lot of predictive capabilities that form that particular solution, and I think to form that those predictive capabilities, a lot of different technologies come into play. I think I spoke about machine learning algorithms, and I think that play a very important role when defining the predictive capabilities. So, can you help us understand about if machine learning also, are there any other technologies that drives the LIPS predictive capabilities, and any particular role of machine learning or artificial intelligence or any other of these technologies are playing?
Absolutely. That's a fantastic question. There are a lot of technology kind of at play here, right? Because we have to arrive at these predictions. And in prediction systems like the forecasting, we need to invest a lot of time in data and choosing the right models which are powered by AI ML and do a lot of experimentation analysis. So technology here is a only an aid to building them. So a lot of focus happens in data. So uh, let me help you with three things, right? Which a forecasting solution like a platform like ours need to invest in. So what I call it in terms is called the technology functions. And also in all the three things, how AI ML plays a crucial role. So the first and foremost in any AI ML powered solutions is the focused on data and its processing. So data plays a very important role in any prediction system, when from the time of we collecting the data to transforming the data. So we have a lot of data which we collect through our Lowe's.com, through our stores, and through our omni-channel platforms. So there is a general saying among the data scientists, right, that our solutions are only as good as the data. So having the right data set, cleansing them, or we call it the data cleansing activities, augmenting them with the right rules so that it's more accurate. And we kind of have to use the correct data to continue get better accuracy from these forecasts. So the technologies we use here would be very good storage solutions which support transformations. There are things like Python, Spark, and others which is generic in the industry, which is, can be used and at scale, especially from companies which have their own privately managed data centers, or there are public clouds like Google Cloud Platform, Microsoft Azure, where they kind of provide various machine learning platforms which can be used as well. So at Lowe's, we kind of continue to experiment, learn and unlearn these data choices. So having a data first strategy is a key to building the right forecasting solution. Now, let me take an example. So sales history, right? How much customers purchase uh, on a weekly or a daily or a yearly basis. So sales history is one of the elements to our key elements to our demand forecasting solution. So in general, the principles of forecastability, right? What it says is we can classify the sales or demand into multiple types, right? It can be a smooth demand where there is sales every day happening, or every week, or every month, or it's lumpy. It's like it's kind of only when the season comes the sales happen, or it's intermittent. So it's like it's not a day-to-day thing which our customers want. It happens sporadically, or even erratic, right? So these kinds of various sales patterns have to be looked at. And also there are factors like customer behaviors, seasonality, which kinds of comes in. And this particular uh, kind of way we actually have to use this particular data leads into our second function, which we call the modeling approach. And this is where our modeling approach comes to play. So your question around where AI ML is used, this is one of the key spaces where we use AI ML powered models. We can use or even build the right models here, right? So there is a plethora of machine learning models available from the open source community to adopt. There are linear based regression models, or decision tree based models, statistical, deep learning. There are a lot of nuances out there, or we can kind of build them ourselves as well. So as data scientists look at it, the key to choose the right model for the types of data and tune them specifically to the business requirements. So there is no one kind of one size fits all strategy. There is nothing like that. So it's more of figuring out what is good for Lowe's and what is good for Lowe's business, especially as we are building it internally and more efficiently. So in our solutions, we employ these models in very different ways based on the analysis which we kind of explained in previously, right? What we did do our analysis of data, what we process the data, and these models are used in different ways and at scale. And we just spoke about the millions of forecasts which we need to generate. And now we have actually spoke about data, we spoke about the AI ML models out there, but analysis of these output or the predictions is very, very crucial. And that's the third step, which is we have to something do before we expose our predictions, which is what I call the demand forecast to our business. So, for example, nowadays, as you're aware, AI has entered in many aspects of software engineering and product development, but we all agree that it's on a journey and not entirely accurate every time. So analyzing these predictions or the demand forecast generated, applying the core retail business context, which was very specific to Lowe's, and creating a feedback loop is very essential for us to continuously improve the accuracy of this forecast. So in this particular case, in demand forecasting, how we use Lift is we got to make sure the more and more changes we actually put in, there is more accuracy in prediction. And also it helps with a lot more efficiency in our inventory planning and replenishment. So we need to have the right analytical reports and insights generated using any reporting tool, right, which fits our use case. It can be anything. So there are a lot of reporting tools outside available which can be picked up. This analysis kind of leveraging the data as insights helps us make real-time decision making. So one example, if I can remember and quote here, would be for in our in-house solutions for forecasting, our associates have the option to visualize this predicted demand by items, by assortments, by various regions, and look at those trends or historical insights. And it kind of helps them and influence them to make the decisions for replenishment. So that kind of not just providing the forecast and its output, providing them the insights and reporting are some of the reasons which kind of help us and continue build these solutions like Lift for complex problems and across core retail functions in Lowe's. So in all these three things, what I mentioned, various open source technologies are there. We can build it in our own data centers, or we can pick up components or machine learning platforms provided by Google Cloud Platform or Microsoft Azure. So technologies out there. And it's kind of the enterprise choice to adopt the right one, which fits their use case based on their cloud infrastructure investments, whether it's private or public cloud, and also their strength and expertise of the team. So that is what I would look at, especially how we are actually investing from a demand forecasting or the Lift's predictive capabilities.
Great. I think that was quite valuable, and it's really impressive to see how Lyft is using or leveraging advanced technologies to enhance its predictive capabilities. And I think the integration of AI, machine learning, or even for that matter, the open source solutions that are definitely booming right now, considering the modern landscape. I think it provides a more significant advantage in terms of accuracy and as well as relevance in demand forecasting. And I think you also spoke about data and then analyzing those data. So it's really I think I'm more curious to understand about how these technologies interact with data when you're working with, because I mean, it's incredible to think about how much data Lyft can process and how it can use that data to make accurate predictions. But I also understand that even the most modern or sophisticated AI models have its own limitations. So this brings us to a very crucial point where we are kind of balancing technology with human oversight, because the AI provides data driven forecast, but I think somewhere the final decision making requires human judgment, taking into account certain factors that might not be fully captured by the algorithms, or those models are not fed by that complete data sets. So I think this collaboration ensures that the forecasts are not only accurate but also actionable, because that's when the human oversight comes into picture, and it's kind of grounded in the practical realities of the overall retail operations. So I want to understand from you, Ashwin, how do you balance this human oversight and as well as technology while running a global retail operation?
Yeah, so great question there. See, you mentioned it very well, right? See, on one side, we can continue to build all these in-house solutions powered by AI, ML, and as technology teams and engineers, right? These are exciting times with a lot of information available across the internet. But something to keep in mind is eventually there is no point building a solution if there is no real adoption or business need. So at Lowe's, our first objective and one of the things which we use as a fundamental to building our forecasting platform like ours is kind of proactively work with our business stakeholders and understand the use case in detail, right? And then try to find a solution to the problem. It's not the other way where we have a solution ready and then we figure out the use case. So a large enterprise like ours, uh, reusability and deduplication are really game changers. So many a times what happens is there will be a products or solutions which are already built for one portfolio or domain, and but it can actually work seamlessly or with some simple changes or tunings for a newer retail core function. So as I mentioned above, this is where the enterprise architecture also comes to partner and guide the teams. So with our experience on building Lyft, right, for demand forecasting, it continues to be a very cross team collaboration effort across data science engineers and business stakeholders, and I feel all of them have a seat on the table. So there should be very transparent conversation in every step, but all of them should be backed with data and facts. The solutioning should be truly agile. We got to really make sure that we focus on progress over perfection. Otherwise, we'll build the best ever product, but the speed to market is actually already not created the impact for us. So all the stakeholders need to be held accountable here. So helping and guiding and also having those blameless discussions goes a long way in true adoption of our product. So for example, in our forecasting platforms, we need a lot of investment in experimentation and testing, especially with the different types of data at scale. Many a times what happens is in demand forecasting, we need to adopt a proactive approach. So sometimes it's not the business which says that, hey, we need this change, but we see these AI ML models are not performing the best. And then we may have to take a proactive approach from the technology side, what we call the technology led business changes. But what really happens is we can't just directly make the change and deploy it in production ecosystem, right? We may not know beforehand how the forecast or predictions would kind of impact the actual replenishment process, because you mentioned overstock and understock both are problems for all the enterprises. So we have to be very clear when we kind of implement them. So that's where in discussions with business, looking at the feedback, we may have to pilot for us very specific set of items with our new approaches or models. And the collaboration with business helps a lot there. So because we might do it for a specific set of stores, or we might do it for a specific set of items or assortments, and we kind of learn from them before we expand to the entire ecosystem of our Lowe's. So and also we need to keep in mind predictions for one assortment may kind of influence other assortments if the sales are kind of dependent on each other. So keeping these in mind, a very strong feedback loop is kind of essential, and this goes a long way in explainability of our solution. We had a lot of moments when we were building our platform where we had to experiment, we had to fail fast, and even build interim solutions, right? So for once, what happened is we had our AI models generating forecasts, but it was not good. But we can't wait. We got to make sure that speed to market time is very essential. So for a short while, we just had to repivot and create very simple solutions, not AIML based, whose accuracy was very good, and business kind of appreciated it. So this kind of helped with the speed to market, but also what happens there, it bought us time to improve our AIML based models in the longer run. So we truly believe that in learning from each other and being very transparent, and also making sure we are able to explain our predictions, goes a great way for us forward, and also along with the organization to the growth. So that's been one of our journeys so far with our forecasting platforms.
I think that's a really great point. It definitely seems like not just Lyft, but I guess any technology isn't here to just replace human decision making, but it aims at more enhancing the human decision making capabilities and making it more informed and even data driven. I think it's the synergy between technology and human expertise that seems to be driving the future of retail at Lowe's. Having said that, one last question for you, Ashwin, would be what is your vision for the future of retail, and how does Lowe's plan to continue leading in this space?
Interesting question. So, see, the future of omnichannel retail, the way I think is going to be around very, very seamless experiences, largely tech driven and hyper personalized for our customers, right? See, the customer demands are changing so rapidly. Customers engage with brands and companies, and that continues to evolve and is going to see a huge change continuously. So there's never going to be one constant time where, okay, we'll say that yes, that experience has kind of become constant. So I think the change is only constant there. So the omni-channel strategies which is adopted by retailers, especially from Lowe's perspective, is will play a very crucial role in this customer satisfaction. So think about it, where 10 years ago, a simple brick and mortar store experience was the only thing which kind of defined a customer's or our shopping journey, right? But today, there are a lot of touch points, right? With online coming in, with multiple options of pickup in store, delivery, fulfillment. So a lot of things coming in, and also taking this further with Lowe's, customer goes through all the ways, not just buying the products or items, they also goes through a full-fledged planning, inspiration, construction to installation, right? And then extending that further to repairs. So as a omnichannel retailer, in my opinion, we need to ensure the customers have a very cohesive experience at every touch point, right from whether we are searching a product, right from visiting a store, right from giving the same experience online versus stores, how they get the right recommendation. Let's say they search for one particular product, but they're able to give recommendations, what goes well with those products, talking to a contact center, and even getting things installed, or even planning or visualizing how a kitchen remodel will look like, right? So they're all must be very much connected. So in Lowe's India, what we do is we are leveraging a lot of cutting edge technologies to support this transformation. So a lot of fundamentals of how we build our in-house solutions is around these, whether it's our in-house build order management systems, or our marquee product, which is our Lowe's self-checkout engines, which kind of helps our checkout registers operate more efficiently, whether it's the engineering platforms, which is easing our efficiency of development, and then extending that into core retail functions, we have invested a lot in merchandising, marketing, space planning, and supply chain, right? So all these investments are kind of shaping how our end customers shop at Lowe's, and it's also impacting how our associates engage with our customers, right? So what we call like we have to make sure that we invest in how we serve our customers, how our customers shop, and also how we work. So that's kind of the fundamentals which I feel uh, um, the future of retail is going to continue and going to converge into.
Well, definitely. I think solutions like Lyft could definitely serve as a blueprint for other retailers who are looking to leverage AI for demand forecasting. And as the retail industry is becoming more increasingly complex, tools like these can definitely be essential to stay competitive and also meet the evolving needs and expectations of customers. So I think wrapping up, it's really important that tech developments are not just a tool, it's more of a testament to the innovative spirit of India and the commitment to pioneering the future of retail. And when we are combining such advanced technologies with the human insight, as well as ensuring sustainability, it's crucial that advanced technologies like AI and machine learning are definitely setting a new standard for demand forecasting in the retail industry. Well, thank you so much, Ashwin. It was pleasure having you with us on a podcast today. And I think we definitely explored some different perspectives around retail industry and how tools and different solutions such as Lyft can help retailers enhance their business efficiency.
Thank you so much. This has been a very wonderful conversation, and thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Ashwin. And this is for our listeners. Stay tuned for upcoming podcasts. You can view and listen all our podcasts on Spotify and other leading platforms. Thank you so much.